Hi everyone, welcome to Erin's Tasty Heritage. I'm Erin and I am so excited to do day number 3 of 12 days of Christmas cookies. We're going to do a chocolate candy cane cookie, and it starts out with a cup of butter. Let me get that in. Oh. And then once I get that in, then I'm going to add a cup of brown sugar. And then I'm going to do 3/4 a cup of granulated sugar. And I am going to pack the brown sugar. And let me tell you, if it doesn't really matter if you have white or dark, or light or dark brown sugar, either one is fine. So I just, it was kind of sticking. It was kind of, you know how brown sugar gets. So I was like, it's not coming out. Okay, there we go. Got that in there. And then I'm gonna do 3/4 of a cup. 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. And then get that all mixed together. I actually mixed for a while. I let it get, I'll bring the camera down. Let me wash my hands. I let it get really fluffy. I let it go for a while and let it get really, really fluffy. It just gets that butter and sugar all really good incorporated. And then I turn it up to 6. And I'm gonna add my eggs one at a time, and I'm gonna add 2 eggs. I love our eggs. Fresh eggs are so fun. So I'm gonna add them one at a time, but with it going on at 6 like that, it's gonna whip them in there really well. A little too powerful on that one. Okay. So then I'll bring it back down to a 2, just to stir. And then I'm going to add, then I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of pure mint extract. And then 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And don't do it over the, that was not smart. I'm glad it didn't pour in. Yeah. Just a little bit of it. And then we were cleaning up as we've been cleaning up as we are baking. And now this one, if you get a little extra vanilla, that's not gonna hurt anything. Okay, and then I'm gonna get that whipped up together. You can smell the mint. Okay, now I'm gonna get the candy out of the freezer. I've got some Andes peppermint candies, And I put them in the freezer while we're getting all the ingredients together so that when I go to chop them up, they're still cold when I put them in the batter. So it's, oh, I wish I would have gotten, oh, hold on. Okay, so I use the Andes peppermint crunch candy. It's just like this, only it's peppermint crunch, and I use one whole box. But I put them in the freezer so they're nice and cold when we are getting, when we get them out, so that they cut better. Then I'm adding, I've got 2 1/4 cups of flour. Let me look at my list. A 1/2 cup of cocoa, a teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then a cup of chocolate chips, and then the box of the Andes peppermint crunch bars. And I'm gonna chop those up so they're more like chunks. Okay, and then I'm gonna put them into the flour and cocoa that I've kind of whisked together. And then I'm gonna get these cut real quick. I'm gonna bring you guys down so you can see. Move my stuff out of the way here. Okay, so I just put them on the cutting board, and they're good and frozen, and I just kind of, it's just a great way to make chunks. And you can hear them. And you know what, as I'm cutting them, I'm going to just kind of put those chunks into the batter. I think that will be the best way to do it. It's, you can see that I'm not, it doesn't have to be they don't have to be all the same. As far as cutting, you just don't want to put the bars in your cookie dough. And you could, if you wanted to, you could cut these before you put them in the freezer. I just think it's easier to get chunks if they're cold. Maddie's dog is whining, and so Maddie's going to rescue her. I should have measured this out. Do you guys have a favorite Christmas cookie that your kids just have to have, or something that you remember as a child? Ours is the ginger snap, ginger molasses cookie. I actually had it as a child, so it's part of my childhood memories. Christmas is definitely not Christmas without them. Okay, so once you get the chunks, you'll see I've just got them in there. And then you just want to get all that goodie off the, and then I just make sure they're good and covered with the flour. Put you back up. I just make sure they're covered good with the flour so that they don't sink to the bottom when you put them in your cookie dough. With it on low, I just am going to add all of that. This one does not have to go into the refrigerator, so we're going to start baking these. I always do one little last hurrah on the mixer and put it up to like 6 and let it go around just to make sure it gets everything up. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't really stop and stir. I just kind of keep going, and then when I'm getting ready to do my batter to make cookies with it is when I clean everything off, and then I scrape at the bottom. And I usually never have anything, I don't know if you can see, it's very clean. The flour is mixed in really well. Okay, so we're gonna get these going. You need to have parchment lined baking sheets, and this bakes 375 for, I'm pretty sure I do 15 minutes, but I'm gonna show you why. Let me get the pans ready. Okay, so now I've got the parchment on my cookie sheets, and I am going to show you the reason why my cookies bake a little bit longer is because I use this, oh, I cannot remember what the red handle is, but I want to say that it's 3 tablespoons. This is the traditional tablespoon cookie, and it would be 10 to 12 minutes, but this one is really 12 to 15 minutes, and I'm almost positive that with my oven it's 15 minutes, but I will double check that and let you know. But basically, and I'll put that down in the description, the instructions with the baking instructions, I will put that. Depending on your scooper, you'll want to decrease or increase your time. So for me, it's going to be 375 for 13 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to just get these. Oh, Oscar's talking. So I'm going to just, okay, so I just take my scooper and I make it go flat up, and then I do just a flat, I just put it right on there, okay? So I'm going to do that. Okay, so I got those in the oven, and I actually went ahead and set the timer for 13 minutes so that I can be a better help as far as time in the oven. Just remember, and again, I will put it in the description, you just want to make sure that you know the size of your scoop. If you don't use a scoop, you can use, I've seen several of my friends, they have those, they're tablespoons, and they have the silicone bottom, and they scoop it and then you push it and the dough comes out. You can do that. Something that I don't know if you saw in the time lapse, I have just a little bit of water in a measuring cup, and when I'm patting down the cookies, I will get just get my hands a little damp, and that helps the dough from sticking. So I'm so excited. We will be back when these are ready to taste. Okay, they are out of the oven, and it was 15 minutes. So these cookies are what I call a 1/4 pound cookie. I made them when I would do the farmers markets, and then when I had Heaven's Confections bakery and coffee shop, that they were the 1/4 pound cookies. And so I've just continued that. They're just fun. So they're crispy on the edges, and then ooey gooey yummy on the inside. And I have a little bit right here that has a candy cane, the bar in it. So good. So, I took too big of a bite. So I want to tell you, those cookies, we actually used Einkorn flour, Einkorn all-purpose, and they are so good. It did not change the consistency as if I had used all-purpose flour. If I did not tell you that, you would not know that it was a different flour. But so yummy. There's something about that Einkorn nutty flavor. I just love it in everything that we have done with it. So anyway, that is that half a teaspoon of the pure mint extract with the Candy Cane Crunch Andy's little bar is the perfect addition with the chocolate cookie. Now, what I do want to tell you is, when you are buying your cocoa, if you just have Hershey's cocoa at home, that is totally fine. But I recommend getting Hershey's dark chocolate cocoa. And then if you are a baker who loves to bake and you want the highest quality of chocolate, I use Veranda. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Valrhona. I use Valrhona. It's just a real pretty, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a real pretty, you can't see it in the camera. It's a real pretty red cocoa and just a great quality. So, but if you have just regular Hershey's cocoa, you're still gonna get a great cookie. But if you're buying it and you wanna add it to your pantry, I recommend doing the Hershey's dark chocolate cocoa powder, okay? But thank you so much for watching this third day of Christmas cookies, and we will see you tomorrow. I'm gonna post some videos, and also please hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys, Merry Christmas, and we will see you tomorrow.